If your entire Las Vegas neighborhood list consists of Summerlin, Henderson, and somewhere by the Strip, I'm about to make your home search a whole lot more complicated. Because those aren't really neighborhoods, those are giant sections of the valley. That's like someone asking where they should go on vacation and you say, Earth. Technically correct, not very helpful. And that's exactly what happens when people start researching Las Vegas. They hear Summerlin, Henderson, the Southwest over and over and over again. Meanwhile, one of the most unique communities in the entire valley has an actual lake. Another feels more like a resort than Las Vegas, and one has built the kind of community where people actually know their neighbors. Imagine that. Most people don't even know they exist, and that's why we're getting down into the nitty-gritty with this one. Now, before we jump into these neighborhoods, let's clear something up. This isn't another Summerlin, Henderson, and Northwest overview, right? That's kind of like saying your favorite restaurant is food. We're gonna need a little more details than that. So we are zooming in on the specific neighborhoods and master plan communities that make those larger areas what they are. We'll talk about the lifestyle, amenities, community vibe, growth, and some of the pros and cons, right? The trade-offs that come with each one. Because at the end of the day, people don't remember the backsplash. They remember the commute, the parks, the restaurants, and whether they actually enjoy living there. So as we go through these communities, focus on the lifestyle first. We'll get to the house second. And with that, let's start with one of the most unique neighborhoods in the entire Las Vegas Valley. Let's start with the neighborhood that usually makes people stop and say, wait, there's a lake in Las Vegas? Welcome to Lake Las Vegas. This is one of the communities that sounds like somebody accidentally mixed up Arizona, Florida, and Nevada, somehow made it work. Located on the eastern side of Henderson, Lake Las Vegas is a master plan community built around a 320-acre lake. And once you get out there, it becomes pretty obvious that the lake isn't just a feature of the neighborhood, it's the centerpiece of the entire lifestyle. You've got walking paths along the water, a marina, golf courses, restaurants, outdoor events, and a village area that serves as the social hub of the community. It's the kind of place where people grab dinner overlooking the water, listen to the live music, take evening walks around the lake, and spend time outdoors whenever the weather cooperates, which, let's be honest, is most of the year here in Las Vegas. Golf is also a big part of the lifestyle here. Reflection Bay sits right inside the community, and between the golf, the lake, the trails, and the restaurants, there are plenty of ways to stay busy without feeling like you need to leave the neighborhood every 5 minutes. Housing covers a pretty wide range as well. You'll find condos, townhomes, gated neighborhoods, new construction communities, custom homes, and some incredible waterfront properties. Today, many of the newer homes start in the upper 400,000s, again depending, while some of the luxury homes extend well into the multi-million-dollar range depending on location, views, and lot size. What really stands out isn't the housing though, it's the lifestyle. This is the type of place where a normal Saturday might include a walk around the lake, brunch by the water, and a round of golf, an evening event in the village. The lake isn't just something you look at from your backyard, it's woven into the entire experience living here. Now, every neighborhood has its trade-offs, and we gotta cover those. Lake Las Vegas sits farther east than many of the areas people typically consider. So depending on where you work and where you spend most of your time, you may find yourself doing a little more driving. If your goal is to be 5 minutes from everything, this probably isn't your spot. But if you're looking for a community where the neighborhood itself feels like the destination, Lake Las Vegas deserves a serious look. Now, from waterfront living, we're heading in a completely different direction to a neighborhood that's become one of the go-to communities for people who want mountain views, outdoor recreation, and a very active lifestyle. By the way, if you're watching this video because you're trying to figure out where you should live in Las Vegas, Henderson, or anywhere else around the valley, this is exactly what my team and I help people with every day. My name is Ryan. I'm a local realtor here in Las Vegas, and one of the biggest challenges for people moving here is figuring out which neighborhood actually fits their lifestyle. There are a lot of great communities in this city, but they're still all very different. So if you're thinking about making a move and you want some help narrowing down your options, feel free to reach out. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. We can schedule a time to meet on Zoom if you'd like to do that as well. All that information is on your screen and down in the description below. Whether you're moving in 30 days or 12 months, we're always happy to answer questions, be a resource, and help you put together a game plan for your move. Next up is Skye Canyon. This is the Northwest Las Vegas neighborhood for people who want the newer home lifestyle, but still want to feel like they can actually get outside without driving across the entire valley. Skye Canyon sits in the northwest part of the Las Vegas off of US 95 near Skye Canyon Park Drive, with Mount Charleston and the Spring Mountains as the backdrop. The community is officially positioned around outdoor living, wellness, and connection, and that shows up, in the way that the whole area is designed. The main hub is Skye Canyon Park, which is about 15 acres and includes Skye Center and Skye Fitness. You also have Eagle Canyon Park, trails dedicated, and bike lanes, splash pads, basketball courts, soccer fields. There's a community gathering spaces throughout the area. So this is not one of those neighborhoods where the builder throws in one sad little patch of grass and says, boom, lifestyle, right? This place leans hard into being active. Not, I only eat boiled chicken and wake up at 4:12 a.m. to cold plunge active. More like walking the dog, riding bikes, taking kids to the park, hitting the gym, doing community events, and pretending this is finally the year you become a runner. And Skye Canyon actually backs that up with programming. The community hosts events like Fit Fest, which has included a 5K, 8K, and 1 mile fun run, along with other community activities throughout the year. That gives the neighborhood a little more personality than just being rows of newer homes with mountain views. Housing out here is mostly newer, which has a huge part of, the appeal. You'll find the modern floor plans, the newer finishes, and all the energy efficient construction, and mix of single family homes across different price points. Current new home information for Skye Canyon shows floor plans starting around the mid 400,000s and moving into the 600,000s and plus, right? With luxury new home options reaching higher depending on size, location, and upgrades. The growth story is also a big part of Skye Canyon. The Northwest Valley has been expanding quickly, and you can feel that momentum out here with more homes, more services, and more retail demand coming into the area. Recent reporting also pointed to a 13-acre retail site near Interstate 11 and Kyle Canyon Road aimed at serving the rapidly growing Northwest corridor. Now them trade-offs, right? The trade-off is the location. Skye Canyon gives you mountain views, the newer homes, and everything we've discussed, but it's still Northwest Las Vegas. So if your life revolves around Henderson and being in Henderson or Lake Las Vegas, the airport, the southeast side of town, you need to be realistic about drive times. Vegas looks cute on a map until you're crossing the entire valley at 5 p.m. and questioning every decision you've ever made. Skye Canyon makes the most sense for someone who wants that newer construction and active community feel, all those outdoor amenities and access to the northwest side of town. It's not the most central option, but for the right lifestyle, it checks a lot of boxes. Now from outdoor living, we're heading into a Henderson community that's built around parks and events, and one of the strongest neighborhood cultures that a lot of people praise in the entire valley. If there's one thing that Inspirada does really well, it's giving people reasons to leave their house. And in 2026, when half of us can have groceries delivered, work remotely, and binge an entire season of a show without putting on real pants, that's actually saying something. Located in West Henderson, Inspirada was designed around parks and gathering spaces, again, community interaction. The neighborhood features 6 parks spread throughout the community with amenities that includes pools, splash pads, sports courts, dog parks, playgrounds, and open green spaces. And people actually use them. Oh my goodness, people go outside. Yes, they do. That's what stands out. The parks aren't just there to make the brochure look good. They're busy. Kids are playing. People are walking dogs. Neighbors are out talking. People are actually being people. The community also does a great job with events, food truck nights, holiday celebrations, fitness classes, outdoor movies, community gatherings. There's usually something on the calendar. It's almost like Inspirada looked at modern life life and said, you know what? Let's make it easier for people to accidentally become friends. Housing is mostly newer with a mix of townhomes, single-family homes, and ongoing new construction opportunities. Many of the newer homes are currently ranging from the upper $500,000s into the $700,000 range and beyond, depending on the size, location, and features. The lifestyle here is really what it's all about. If your perfect Saturday involves loading up the stroller, walking into a park, grabbing food from a community event, letting the kids burn off some energy, and running into people you actually recognize, Inspirada is going to make a lot of sense. Now you gotta give me these trade-offs. Well, Inspirada sits on the southern side of Henderson, so depending on where you work, some commutes can be longer than what you'll find in other parts of the valley. Sometimes it feels like you're leaving Las Vegas when you're driving to Henderson. But if you're looking for one of the strongest community-focused neighborhoods in Las Vegas, Inspirada has earned that reputation. Now, we're staying in Henderson, but the next neighborhood brings a completely different personality, more established, more elevated, and for many people, a little more refined. Let's head over to Anthem. Anthem sits in the foothills of Henderson, and one of the biggest advantages of the location is the elevation. Depending on where you are in the community, you can get some incredible views of the valley, the surrounding mountains, and even parts of the Las Vegas Strip. A lot of communities sell people on what they're eventually going to become. Anthem has already had years to show people exactly what it is. When people are considering a move to Anthem, there isn't much guesswork involved. You can drive through a community on a Tuesday afternoon and get a pretty accurate picture of what life is going to look like once you live there. Outdoor recreation is a big part of the lifestyle as well. Anthem Hills Park is one of the most popular parks in Henderson. It includes sports fields, basketball courts, volleyball courts, playgrounds, picnics, walking trails, and plenty of open space. Housing is one of the reasons Anthem ends up on so many people's list. You'll find traditional single-family homes, the gated neighborhoods, the larger homes throughout Anthem Highlands, and luxury properties inside Anthem Country Club. Pricing can vary quite a bit depending on the neighborhood, lot size, home size, and views. In today's market, it's common to find homes starting in the $500,000s, while larger homes with premium views, golf course locations, and custom features can easily push well beyond $1 million. Anthem Country Club is one of the most recognizable communities in Henderson and features a private Hale Irwin and Keith Foster designed golf course along the fitness facilities, tennis, pickleball, dining, and social events, and some of the most impressive residential views in the valley. One thing that always stands out to me about Anthem is that people aren't constantly chasing the next new thing. A lot of residents move there because they liked the community, and years later, they still like the community. In a city that's constantly growing and changing, that's actually pretty rare. Now the trade-offs. Oh boy, the trade-offs again. Yep, I know. Go ahead, Ryan, and give me the bad news, right? If you're solely stuck on buying a brand new construction home, then Anthem isn't for you. That's all I got. If you're looking for a brand new construction where you can pick every cabinet, countertop, and paint color, you're gonna have more options in some of the newer parts of Henderson and Las Vegas. If you're looking for a neighborhood that already feels established with mature landscaping, great views, awesome parks and trails, and a community that people have loved for years, Anthem is definitely worth checking out. Now let's head over to one of the fastest growing areas in Southern Nevada, where the story is all about growth, development, and what's coming next. Tule Springs sits in the northwest part of the valley up in North Las Vegas near 215 Beltway, Revere, Aliante, and Centennial Hills, and the US 95 side of town. And this is one of those areas where you can physically see Las Vegas just stretching north. Every time you drive through, there's another road being worked on, another neighborhood going in, and another patch of desert getting introduced to a bulldozer. The big story here is growth, not one Starbucks opened and now everybody calls it the next Summerlin growth, right? Actual growth, more homes, more rooftops, more demand for grocery stores, restaurants, and all that other good stuff, the everyday stuff people need when an area starts filling in. A major piece of the lifestyle here is Tule Springs Fossil Beds National Monument, which is managed by the National Park Service and covers more than 22,000 acres just north of Las Vegas and North Las Vegas. It preserves Ice Age fossil history from the upper Las Vegas Valley, so yes, this part of town has mammoth history. Most neighborhoods brag about a dog park. Tule Springs can casually say, we've got prehistoric mammals. Slightly different flex. The Villages at Tule Springs is one of the major master plan communities in the area, and current development around the 215 and Revere corridor is a big reason people are paying attention. There's also commercial growth coming, including Regal Tule Springs, a planned shopping center at the northwest corner of I-215 in Revere that is expected to include a national grocer and fuel center. Housing out here is heavily tied to newer construction and newer communities. Depending on the neighborhood, home size, lot, and upgrades, you'll commonly see options starting in the 400,000s and moving into the 500s and 600,000s, and higher for larger homes or premium lots. So no, this is not cheap Vegas like your uncle keeps talking about from 2012. But for people wanting newer homes and more space in the Northwest Valley, Tule Springs can make a lot of sense. The lifestyle today is still evolving. You've got all those newer neighborhoods and the open desert scenery and pretty quick freeway access, but some parts are still catching up. That means that, you may be driving a little more for certain restaurants and shopping and, those kinds of things until that retail fully fills in. If you like the idea of newer homes, Northwest Valley access, open space, and being in an area with a lot of growth ahead of it, Tule Springs is absolutely worth paying attention to. Now, from a growth-focused Northwest community, let's move into one of Henderson's stronger master plan neighborhoods where the lifestyle is already built around parks and trails and all the good stuff, right? Everyday convenience. Last but not least on our list is Cadence. And if you spent any time researching Henderson over the last few years, you've probably seen this community come up more than once. Cadence is located in Henderson near Lake Mead Parkway and Boulder Highway, giving residents relatively easy access to Water Street District, Galleria area, and Lake Las Vegas. The airport is right around the corner and many other parts of the valley. One of the reasons the community has gained so much attention is because it combines newer construction, a central Henderson location, and a master plan that was built around lifestyle rather than just housing. The centerpiece of the community, much like Skye Canyon, is what they have. They're called Central Park, which spans roughly 50 acres and serves as the heart of Cadence. You'll find everything that you need outside when it comes to like the pickleball courts, the splash pads, playgrounds, open grass areas. They have fitness stations, community gathering spaces, and regular events throughout the year. One thing Cadence does really well is make it easy to get out of your house without having to get in your car. The community includes more than 20 parks and on an extensive trail system that connects like different sections of the neighborhood. So whether you're walking the dog, riding the bike, going for a run, or just trying to convince yourself that this is finally the year you're going to use that fitness watch you bought 3 years ago, there are plenty of opportunities to get outside. Housing is one of the biggest reasons Cadence continues to attract attention. You'll find a pretty wide mix of homes ranging from attached products and similar single-family homes into larger properties throughout the community. New construction is still active in several areas, which gives people the opportunity to purchase newer homes while still moving into a neighborhood that already feels established. Pricing generally starts in the mid to upper 400,000s and moves into the 500,000s, 600,000s, depending, right? It's always depending. That range has helped put Cadence on the radar for a lot of people who want Henderson living without immediately jumping into some of the higher price points found in other parts of the city. The lifestyle here is probably the biggest reason for the community's popularity. Cadence feels active. There are parks being used, community events people actually go to and attend, and for a lot of neighborhoods, that's harder to accomplish than it sounds. One trade-off of Cadence that, is that it doesn't have the elevated views. You'll find in places like Anthem, it doesn't have the resort atmosphere of Lake Las Vegas. Some parts of the community are also still being built out as the development continues. But if you're looking for a newer Henderson community with strong amenities, parks, and trails, the location that keeps you connected to multiple parts of the valley. It's easy to understand why Cadence has become one of the most popular master plan communities in the Las Vegas area. So after looking at all 6 neighborhoods, hopefully one thing has become pretty clear. When people talk about moving to Las Vegas, they usually throw around those names like Summerlin, Henderson, and Green Valley, but those are huge areas. They're not necessarily the nitty-gritty neighborhoods. Once you start digging a little deeper, you realize that communities within those larger areas can and have completely different personalities, lifestyles, amenities, and overall feel. Lake Las Vegas feels nothing like Anthem, Anthem feels nothing like Tule Springs, and Inspirada feels nothing like Skye Canyon. Even though some of those communities are only a few miles apart, the day-to-day experience of living there can be completely different. Some people want to live near the water and spend their weekends around restaurants, golf courses, and lake views. Some people want parks, community events, and neighborhoods where there's always something happening. Some people want mountain views, trails, and quick access to outdoor recreation. That's why I always encourage people to go beyond the big names and start exploring the individual communities themselves. Get a car and drive out, away from the strip's bright lights, because once you get past the broad labels, that's where you really start to understand what living in Las Vegas looks like. And sometimes the neighborhood that ends up feeling like the best fit isn't the one you were originally looking at. It's the one you didn't even know existed until you started digging a little deeper. Hopefully this video has challenged you to dive deeper into the big name communities and realize how much Las Vegas has to offer. If you're thinking about moving to Las Vegas, Henderson, or anywhere in the valley, and you're trying to figure out which neighborhood actually fits your lifestyle, that's exactly what my team and I help people do every single day. A lot of people reach out to us thinking, they've already narrowed down where they want to live. Then we start talking about their commute, lifestyle, hobbies, budget, what they want to be close to, and how they actually plan to spend their time. And sometimes the neighborhood they end up choosing isn't even the one they originally had on their list. So if you're planning a move and you want some help figuring out which communities make the most sense for you, feel free to reach out. My name is Ryan and I'm a local Las Vegas realtor, and my team and I help people relocate to Las Vegas, Henderson, and all the surrounding areas every single day. You can call, text, email with that information right there on the screen, right? And honestly, whatever just works best for you. You can DM me on Instagram if that's how you're comfortable. We're happy to answer questions, point you in the right direction, and help you make your move just a whole lot easier. And if you're not ready yet, that's okay too. You're probably still in your early phases of research, watching a ton of videos, and I completely get it. You can continue your research right here on my channel with community tours, home tours, neighborhood breakdowns, and anything else really that helps you paint the real picture of what it's like to live in Las Vegas. So go ahead and check out the next video that's popping up on your screen somewhere for you right here. I'll see you over there.